The Africa Liberation Day, or commonly known as the Africa Day, marks a significant milestone in the continent's journey towards freedom, unity, as well as prosperity. The primary objective of the Africa Liberation Day celebrations is to commemorate struggles and victories that have shaped Africa's history. And to talk about that and much more today, we are joined by the High Commissioner of Kenya to Rwanda, Her Excellency Janet. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Right. As we start off, maybe before we even dive deeper into the Africa Liberation Day or the Africa Day, it's our pleasure having you in the studio as the High Commissioner of Kenya to Rwanda. It's been a few days. How is it so far, if I may? How is Kigali and your work in general in relations to the Rwanda-Kenya partnerships?
Thank you very much. I mean, Kigali has been absolutely amazing. Been here for about a month and a half because, you know, I took a break for a while. I love Kigali. Very organized city. I haven't been to the rest of the parts in Rwanda, and I intend to do that in a very short while. But it's been a pleasure. Very good road network, a very structured way of doing things. I absolutely love it.
Sure. If I may, how can you paint the picture in regards to the relations between Rwanda and Kenya right now?
They are very cordial. We have absolutely cordial relationships that I really want to ride on. I mean, I've been here for, like I said, a month and a half, and within that period, we've hosted very many delegations from Kenya. We've hosted our ministers. We've hosted Deputy President who came for Kwibuka. Yeah. Just last Friday, we had our head of state, His Excellency President Ruto, attending the Africa CEO Forum. So we have very good relations, and I intend to really build on that.
Absolutely see it that way as well. And if we can take it a bit from the box of Rwanda, Kenya, and now to the East African Community Ambassador, a lot has been going on. And in your view, in regards to the security and, you know, particularly in the Eastern DRC, Kenya had a contingent in the country trying to restore peace. In your own view, what is the solution to such matters, and what could be the trigger to bringing peace to Eastern DRC, which I think could be a trigger to more prosperity to the region?
Absolutely. I think that we already have processes that are ongoing. We have the Rwanda-led process. We have the Nairobi peace process, and we are banking on that to ultimately solve the Eastern DRC you know, stalemate with Rwanda.
And what's the role of political will towards addressing such matters?
Political goodwill is absolutely necessary to solve, and we've seen all our leaders in the East African community, you know, coming together, trying to, you know, be part of the solution, and I know that will yield fruit in the not so far future.
Sure. Now to the Africa Day or the Africa Liberation Day. Why is it so important to commemorate or celebrate the Africa Day?
The Africa Day, as we know, was born when we had OAU in 1963, 25th of May, which OAU's main objective was to bring, you know, unity to Africa, prosperity, and, you know, Africans working together. I think that is one of the reasons why we should commemorate and celebrate. But more than that, or further than that, we need as Africans to remember our history, where we're coming from, and how that impacts our future. And that's why it's important to celebrate Africa Day today, so that we remember our unity. Yeah. We look at the gains, we look at the struggles, we look at the challenges, and come up with ways to better that going forward.
All right. The African Union named this year the Year of Education, and the theme is Education and Skill Africa for the 21st Century. And if you can build of this on this particular theme, considering Africa's our colonial history, what should this mean for the Africans in general?
It should mean that we are living in an age where education has really progressed. We have inherited as Africans an education system that is largely seen as colonially inherited.
Yeah.
And we are now at a stage, the 21st century is really grown from where we inherited it from. We started from, religion, and then, just pre-colonial education. And for us as Africans, we need now to structure our education system to be very versatile, so that we actually benefit from it. We are still using education systems that are really looked at as inherited from the Western.
Yeah.
Africa needs an education system that is able to grow their youths or the young people to meet the challenges of the global world.
All right. Could you say our education is far from being African, or designed and curated to solving African challenges, and rather designed to keep us in the colonial era that we've been a lot of years back?
Absolutely. Largely, our education system was and is still structured as a colonial era education system. But it's a good thing that we're seeing a lot of African countries trying to move away from that. For instance, in Kenya, we have our CBC base, which is a system of education that is trying to address those colonial education system challenges. So yes, we are largely still using a system that doesn't work for Africa, and I think the theme for this year is so important, so we can critically assess our education systems as an African, continent, and try and tailor that or structure that to meet the needs of.
How urgent should African governments take this?
Very urgently. We should do that as like yesterday, because we have, we should now look at science, technology, mathematics, in an education system that serves Africa in terms of, how are our youths equipped to handle the challenges or the challenges that Africa faces. So I think it's very critically urgent, and I think the theme for this year cannot be more opportunities just at the right time.
Right, and Ambassador, what is your message for young Africans on this occasion to celebrate the Africa Day 2024 as the continent tries to move into the targeted future?
My message to our youth is that they form a huge constituency of the African, demographic pattern. There's a lot to be done in Africa, and we are very dependent on our youths. Let them go out there, let them get the skills, let them learn, let them continue learning, let them learn on STEM system of education, let them have internships, let them get mentors. We need our youths in the current Africa to grow. The other message I have for the youth is let them not forget where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Let them be our young Pan-Africanists. So they carry that spirit ahead with them as they continue to look to deliver to the continent.
Do you think they are facilitated enough to give out their contribution in terms of realizing an Africa that we want?
No, they're not, but and that's one of the things that as an African continent, we need to find solutions to address that, so that our youths are well equipped to serve not only Africa but the world at large. So that's an area that African leaders, the political leaders, and everyone, even parents, should take up equip our youth to be ready to tackle challenges in Africa.
Absolutely. I do think it's a time to address the challenges that we are creating ourselves that are even blocking the Africa's progress. Recently, when I attended the Africa CEO Forum, the Africa's richest man, Dangote, was highlighting how it's hard to move around African countries, the visa restrictions and all, to the extent he is even asked for bank statements to travel to another African country. And I just brought this example to show how it stands in terms of Africa's integration. Ambassador, in your context and in your perspective, what is missing to realize a real and actual Africa integration? Another example, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that was signed and ratified by many countries is not fully operational yet. And this is where I started to say we are blocking our own progress. What do you think is really needed to be done by Africans themselves to realize actual progress?
I think African countries and African leaders need to integrate the policies so as to realize the African Continental Trade Agreement objectives, because that hasn't quite been done. Yeah. We have many challenges as Africa. We have, we have civil wars, we have political instability, yeah. And those are things that really hamper integration as an African continent. So we need to really solve our political leadership and governance issues, so that we have an integrated, integrated policies as an African continent that enables trade, enables free movement, and those are some of the issues that I think we should be focusing on going forward.
Are you optimistic that we will get there?
We definitely will get there with African Union and EAC for the East African region. We will, we have South Africa with their own, outfit. We will definitely get there. It might take a bit of time, but we are working on it, and I am very optimistic that we will definitely find solutions to that.
Right, and finally, Ambassador, as we wrap it off, anything else you'd like to tell our viewers concerning mostly the Africa Liberation Day? Yes,
it's amazing and beautiful that we have Africa Liberation Day. My message to Africans is that we know our challenges. We are limited, yeah, in many ways, but we are a rich continent, and we really need to work together as a continent to solve our, all the challenges that Africa faces, and we will ultimately or definitely get there.
Right. Once again, Ambassador, it was a pleasure having you in our Rwanda Television studios. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.